I am Dr. Brooke Jackson, board certified dermatologist at Skin Wellness Dermatology Associates. And we are so excited to have special guest and my personal hairstylist, Gaylin Rose, and her hubby, who is the beard model for today. So awesome, beautiful, fabulous. Gaylin, I really need to see you. I'm looking like a woolly mammoth.
I need to see me too.
As soon as this is lifted, I am for sure getting the Southwest ticket and headed to Chicago.
Amen.
So I am in Durham, North Carolina. Gaylin is in Chicago. And tell people where you work.
I have a private room at Mari Marchi Hair Salon and Spa. It's at 2251 South Michigan Avenue, closer to 23rd in Michigan. Yes.
Awesome. And we'll post everything later for how to get in touch with you.
Cool.
Okay. I can just see half of your lovely husband's head. So togetherness, that's awesome.
Better?
Yes. So cool. Introduce him. Introduce the host.
Oh, I'm sorry. Hi, my name is Angelo Rose.
Hi, Angelo.
Hubby of 16 plus years.
Awesome. Look at that beautiful beard. How long have you been growing your beard?
Since I was like 5 or 6.
Oh, okay.
No, I've had it my whole life.
Yeah.
Since I've started, I've never
20-something,
30 years.
Yeah.
Wow. What made you decide to grow it?
Dick Gregory.
Oh, right.
I was at the University of Maryland in College Park, and I heard Dick Gregory one evening. He came to the school, and he talked about that and talked about our diet and what we ate and how that affected us. And that changed my perspective as to what I eat and how I allowed my hair to grow and things that happen in my life.
Okay. All right. So just from your perspective, share with us what you do to maintain your beard.
And that's a very good question right now. As we walk through this moment in time, things have changed tremendously regarding that. So I do several things and there's several more that I need to do, tremendously more to maintain it, from washing it more often, doing it several times a week, to normally I use shea butter as cream for my face, and often I put that on my beard, and I shouldn't do it as much as I do. So finding a sort of creamer that allows it to go. I do clippers. And I think that as men, as we go through this moment in time, there definitely will be a paradigm shift in many, many things that we do. And one of those shifts are that how we groom ourselves to do that. So there are a couple of things major that have not only changed in what I do, is realizing, a full beard is not bad. That if you groom it correctly, that you can have a distinguished look with it. And it doesn't seem that you're overgrowth, because you always try to cut around where you're eating at and what you're doing. But it does. And a full beard represents a sense of maturity, a sense of awareness, a sense of being.
So I just want to get to a couple things. You bring up some really great points about why people grow beards in the first place.
Right.
And particularly with African-American men, there's a condition called acne keloidalis snooki, which is in the back, but pseudofolliculitis barbae, ingrown hairs in the beard area.
Right.
And that is the reason that a lot of men will end up growing beards, which is a great thing, because when the hair is very, very curly, the hair can embed itself into the skin and a bump will develop really as a foreign body reaction. So a lot of men will start growing beards because of that. You know, there are also a lot of professions that don't allow beards. So like firemen and policemen in the military. And so there's a little bit of a challenge with men who have to shave frequently, develop bumps because of their work, but they'd actually be better off with a 5 o'clock shadow. So I want to chat with Gaylin, and you are so lucky that you were married to a master hairstylist who can like hook you up at home when everybody else is looking super scraggly.
This is a blessing.
It's a blessing. So how often should one trim one's beard?
Oh gosh, well, that honestly depends on the growth that people have. If you want a 5 o'clock shadow, you got to do it daily. Um, Otherwise, I would generally say maybe once a week, every other week, depending on um, the look that you desire. I mean, if you want a full beard, yeah, maybe every other week.
Yeah, I
But
live
I
in
wouldn't push it past that point to trim
yeah,
it.
I live in North Carolina now, having moved from Chicago, and beards are in, like it's a thing.
Yes.
And I see some very nice bearded men on here, like I am Charles Hicks. Hey, so I'm glad you could join us. But yeah, I mean, I think a lot of men can really rock a really nice beard, and
Yes.
keeping in mind if you're trying to transition to growing a beard, hair grows about 1/4 of an inch a month. And so you do want to
Right.
kind of give it a little bit of a start and know that there's going to be some moments where things might be interesting looking.
Right.
So,
The
and
midway.
right there you go. Sometimes the beard itself can be a little bit itchy, and again, you bring up a great point about washing your beard. There are
Yes.
all sorts of things that can be all up in there, like food,
Right.
and the beard is hair, and so you still need to wash your scalp. You need to wash the beard hair,
Right.
and my recommendation is maybe to use, especially if you're getting a little bit flaky, that is called seborrheic dermatitis.
Right.
And you can use a dandruff shampoo. So there's some good choices
Yes.
over the counter.
Yeah.
In fact, Head and Shoulders actually just reformulated their shampoo with a little coconut
It's
oil, which
better.
is much better and so
Not
much less.
drying. Right.
Yeah. What else do you recommend?
If you don't have Head and Shoulders at home and maybe you really have to shelter in place and you cannot get out, if you have sea breeze at home or if you have tea tree oil, you can kind of run it through there, but don't leave it. You want to rinse it out, but that would help to loosen up some of the itchiness. I mean, some of the dry skin and alleviate the itchiness. If you have tea gel shampoo,
Yeah.
tea gel is a very good shampoo.
Unless you're gray. So I do not recommend tea gel, which is tar
Yeah,
based.
that's true. Gray
Anybody who's
hair.
got blonde, we call it. Anybody who's got lighter colored hair, because the tar can discolor it. So you're better off
It will.
the tea sal, which is salicylic acid. And,
Yeah.
to your point, what do all of those things, tea tree oil, have in common? They're all antibacterial. And so we want to take care of the bacteria that is harbored. You've got warmth, you've got covering, you've got moisture, you got all sorts of stuff up in there. So you want to make sure that you clean it.
Exactly.
Yeah, but not to over dry.
Yes.
So how often would you recommend shampooing your
Once, maybe twice a week.
okay?
If you have oily hair already, then you might want to shampoo a little more often than that. But once or twice a week is generally good enough. You can rinse every single day.
Yeah.
If you well, I'm saying if it's bushy, I would suggest rinsing it every day because of food and other debris that's out there.
We
And
call
depending
that
on your
hair.
job.
We call that hair that has its own personality.
Yes, it does.
So
Yes, it does. Gotta
when
clean
you
it.
what do you do to try and control those hairs that have their own personality, as far as detangling, brushing, any kind of beard product that you would recommend?
So as you shampoo or wash, I guess you wash your face, so you can wash your hair on your face too. You want to begin to groom it. So even as you're shampooing,
Yes.
you want to kind of shampoo down and keep that growth going the way that you want it. Because if you go up, the hair has memory and those follicles will grow up, and that's not what you want. You want down. So you want to shampoo in a downward motion, even with the conditioner. If it's very thick, you want to use a wide tooth comb, preferably. Oh gosh, I can't think of who makes them, but they're wooden combs, and they have maybe a 1/2 inch separation between the teeth. Downward motion, the shampoo, as well as the conditioner. Afterwards, towel dry. If you have a little shea butter, you want to put that on your face, and again, you want to brush down with either a comb or a soft brush in the
Yes.
same motion. and that will
And
keep it together. Yes.
and should that be done daily?
You want to brush daily, like you would brush your hair daily. You
Hmm.
want to brush your beard daily, and brushing it in that downward motion. I know I shouldn't be touching my face right now because of the pandemic, but in the downward motion, that keeps it groomed, and it keeps it the growth pattern together.
Okay. What about, again, hair is hair. And so what about coloring your beard? Do people put
Mm.
So
stuff
then
like,
you want to use I would suggest a demi color and not a semi-permanent color. A semi-permanent color will rinse off. And if you have on a lightly colored shirt, yeah, you're ruined if you're sweating. Yeah, that's not a good look. But a demi color has a very low percentage of developer in it. And so it will stain it and it will hold it. Also, hennas Henna will cover it. Henna can be drying. So you will notice after a while that your hair really isn't as shiny as you would like it. So although henna will work, henna can be drying after prolonged use. A demi color, I like it better because it opens up the cuticle layer. So when you go back with a conditioner, it adds some more shine.
and is this something that men should do, try at home, or should they wait for their stylist to do that?
It'd be great if they would wait for their barber. They're not. Um, and depending on the growth. So, I mean, if you can't get to your barber, they do have products that you can buy for beards that are good that way. And because they're demis, it's not really going to hurt you.
Mhm.
If you have sensitive skin, you might want to put it in the bend of your elbow first and wait a day just to see whether or not you have any type of reaction.
Yes, or call me and then we'll give you some prednisone. So that's how
There
that
you
rolls.
go.
Right. And so,
Jackson to the rescue.
yeah, we have just a couple more minutes because we are limited to
Okay.
15 minutes for Instagram.
All
But
right.
I wanted to just touch base on a couple of things too. Beards are beautiful and they're amazing, but you can't ever forget the skin underneath. And so I bring this up because I also remove skin cancers. And I've had a few men
Mm,
that have been growing beards. And then for whatever reason, they decide to shave it off and they got a big old skin cancer there. So get all up in there and feel your skin
yes.
and make sure that there's nothing growing. Certainly if you have anything that is bleeding, bleeding is not normal unless it's provoked.
Hmm.
So, just
True.
make sure that you are periodically feeling your skin and you know what's happening up under there
Exactly.
for safety reasons. So, any parting tips about beard care?
Just like even a bald head has maintenance. So, don't forget to take care of it. Just because you wash your face and you throw a little water against it, it doesn't mean that it's actually clean. You do have to maintain your beard. If you're growing it longer, you got to do more. You just do. So you want to brush it. You want to feel underneath it. You want to moisturize it. You want to add a little extra butter to it, if you will, to give it the shine that you want. You want to go to the barber, trim it up, clip it, make sure that you don't have ingrown hairs. All of those things. It takes maintenance.
Yeah. And conditioner, right? So after women wash
Yes,
their hair, the conditioner
we
was so funny.
condition it.
Yeah, I mean, when I talk to about conditioner to my male patients with hair, they're like, "What?" So,
Right, when you're in the shower, just leave it on there.
yeah. So, I think that's part of the scalp regimen that a lot of men don't partake in, but they definitely do
Sorry,
with.
guys.
That's okay. Life happens. So,
Sorry. Yeah, life does.
it's okay. So, how can people get in touch with you? How can people
They
get
can
in
get
touch?
in touch with me at Mari Marshi Hair Salon. It's 312-674-9313. And again, we're located at 2251 South Michigan Avenue in Chicago, in the South Loop.
Right. All right. And I am Dr. Brooke Jackson, board certified dermatologist. I'm here in Durham, North Carolina. If you need to reach us, our phone number is 919-294-9440. We are doing telemedicine. We are hoping to reopen May 15th, but a lot of that depends on the governor. So you guys be safe,
Yeah.
wash your hands, wear your mask. We got you.
Yes.